Now we're going to look at meter. As you're aware, you probably know about quarter notes, half notes, dotted half notes, whole notes, and then, of course, eighth notes. Eighth notes and 16th notes, but we'll start with eighth notes simply, and quarter notes, half notes, dotted half notes, and whole notes. Now, to start to understand meter and rhythm, what I'm going to ask you to do is tap out a beat, a regular beat, on your left leg with your left hand. And you pick a note and you play at the same time. Now we could say this is a quarter note. The quarter note is worth one beat. Not always, but today we're going to assume that a quarter note is worth one beat. Next, we're going to look at the half note. Keep up the beat in the left hand, and I'll play half notes. So a half note is worth 2 beats. Very good, 2 beats. The half note is worth 2 quarter notes and 2 beats. And now the dotted half note, 2, 3. Because the dot adds half the value of the note. We can switch hands, because of course as pianists we have to make sure that our hands are independent. So when you can switch hands, do the other thing with the other hand, you do that. So here let's tap the beat with the right hand so that we can do anything we want with either hand at any time. The whole note, 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's all the different durations. Now, I'm going to let you, using the same exercise, figure out how to play eighth notes. It's difficult, but I think that you have all the elements you need to figure it out. So you tap a beat, the quarter notes. Good, those are quarter notes. Good, make sure they're very even. These are eighth notes, 2 eighth notes per beat. Very good. And those are your eighth notes. Now, to get familiar with these different durations, you can use the score that you see here, and you can even use clusters, which we used earlier. And with these clusters, we can play quarter notes, half notes, 2, 1, 2, etc., and use all of the different durations in this way. And the cluster allows us to use our whole arm. And this means that we're using our whole arm and not just using our fingers. And when there's no sound, how is that written on a score? Very good. This brings us to talk about rests and silence. And indeed, the silence is as difficult to play in music as sound. Music exists because there is silence. Silence is really the backdrop for music and sound. So we have to work on silence and really feel these silences as well. And that's something we have to learn as well. Now, as you can see on the score, a quarter rest here, a half rest here, and a whole rest to indicate a silence of a full measure.